Have you ever been afraid to speak English? You know, that nervousness that comes over you when someone walks up to you and asks you a question in English. Have you ever experienced this feeling? If so, today I'm going to give you 11 techniques to help you overcome this fear. Are you ready? Well then, I'm Teacher Tiffani. Let's jump right in. Technique number 1. Focus on communication rather than perfection. I'll say it again because it's so important. Focus on communication rather than perfection. You see, this technique emphasizes the importance of getting your message across rather than worrying about speaking flawlessly. In one of my previous lessons, I mentioned that it's okay to make mistakes, and this technique emphasizes that same point. You have to focus on communicating your idea, your thought, or your opinion instead of focusing on each and every word that you're saying and making sure that your mistakes are not that bad or that your grammar is perfect. Focus on communication rather than perfection. We're talking about letting go of your fears. Now, there are 3 reasons why this is so important. Here's the first reason. This will reduce anxiety and help you speak more freely. Many times when you would feel that fear coming over you and that nervousness and that anxiety, it's because you don't want to make a mistake. Let that go and you'll experience freedom from anxiety. Reason number 2, you'll learn faster by actively using the language even with mistakes. Again, when you stop worrying about mistakes, you'll start speaking more freely and you'll actually start to improve because you'll be using what you have learned. And reason number 3, it builds your confidence as you successfully communicate your ideas. When you focus on communicating rather than perfection, when you focus on getting your thoughts out instead of making sure each and every word is in the right place, you'll actually be able to feel more confident in yourself. You'll feel confident because people will start understanding what you want to say. So technique number 1 is focus on communicating and not on perfecting. Communication over perfection. You got me? Excellent. All right, here we go. Technique number 2. Technique number 2 is practice positive self-talk and affirmations. Now, this technique is something you've probably noticed that I use in each and every one of my video lessons. My goal is to help you speak English with confidence. So in each video, not only do I want to teach you English, not only do I want to help you understand certain expressions and terms, I actually really want you to be confident in yourself. So I always remind you that you're intelligent, you are learning another language, your brain is amazing. Why? Because positive self-talk and affirmations will help you release your fear. You see, it's important for you to use encouraging words and phrases to boost your confidence and motivation in learning English. There are 3 specific reasons why this technique works so well. The first reason is it helps you overcome negative thoughts that may hinder your progress. Listen, I've been where you are. When I was studying Korean, it was very difficult. And there were moments when I would hear a voice in my head saying, this is too hard. You keep making mistakes. This negative voice is going to be present, but you have to stop it, again, by speaking to yourself in a positive way, reminding yourself, hey, you've come a long way, you're intelligent, you are smart enough to learn this language. Reason number 2, positive self-talk can improve your overall learning attitude. When you remind yourself that you can do it, the next time a new term is brought to you, the next time you hear something that you've never heard before, instead of feeling dejected, instead of feeling depressed, you'll say to yourself, I was smart enough to learn the last term. I'm smart enough to learn this term. And reason number 3, it reinforces your belief in your ability to master the language. Exactly what I just said before. You have to speak to yourself in a positive way. Don't put yourself down. When you make a mistake, remind yourself, it's okay. I'm on this journey. I can do it. Affirm yourself and speak positively to yourself. We're talking about overcoming your fears and finally speaking English with confidence. Technique number 3. This technique is also very important. Start with small, achievable speaking goals. I'll say this one again. Start with small, achievable speaking goals. You see, it's important for you to set manageable objectives for your English speaking practice, gradually increasing difficulty over time. Let me be honest with you. What happens sometimes is that English learners will set very high goals. It's very good to set goals for yourself. But for example, I want to learn 1,000 English vocabulary words in 5 days. Now, it's a good goal to learn 1,000 English vocabulary words, but 5 days, that's a bit short, right? You have a life, you're working, you have a family. So it's important to set smaller, achievable goals, because when you set these large goals and don't achieve them, you suddenly start to feel down. You start to experience this fear when you go to speak because you weren't able to achieve other goals. So it's important to set small, achievable goals, and as time goes on, you increase those goals. Here are 3 reasons why this technique is so important. It prevents overwhelm and keeps you motivated. You won't be overwhelmed by the 1,000 words you have to learn in 5 days, and you'll stay motivated because you'll be achieving each of your goals. Reason number 2, you'll build confidence as you consistently achieve your goals. It's amazing what happens to you when you do what you said you would do. I'll say that again. It's amazing what will happen to you when you do what you say you will do. This builds confidence. Reason number 3, it allows you to track your progress more effectively, writing out your small, achievable goals and checking each and every one off the list. Technique number 4, again, effective ways to overcome your fear. Record yourself speaking and listen back to track your progress. Now, we talked about this in one of the previous lessons. The importance of recording yourself, whether it be a video or an audio clip, and then going back and listening to yourself. Use audio or video recordings to monitor your speaking skills and identify areas for improvement. This will help you overcome your fears because you're recognizing the points at which you struggle. The patterns, the words, expressions that really cause you to feel a bit uncomfortable. Here are 3 reasons why this technique is so powerful. Reason number 1, it helps you become aware of your pronunciation and intonation. Many times, English learners, and maybe even you, experience fear because they feel like the individual they're speaking with will not understand them. Maybe they have a stronger accent. Maybe they feel like their pronunciation isn't that good. In order to remove that fear, record yourself and then review what you recorded, and you'll start to improve your pronunciation. Reason number 2, you can track your progress over time and celebrate, going back to affirmations, celebrate your improvements. And finally, it allows you to practice self-correction and develop a critical ear, recognizing your mistakes and correcting them before you get into a conversation. Technique number 5. Practice speaking in front of a mirror to build confidence. I absolutely love this one. Getting in front of a mirror and talking to yourself. It's going to feel odd. It's going to feel weird and awkward in the very beginning, but it works. One of my students in the Speak English with Tiffani Academy told me that, Tiff, I stand in front of my mirror and my husband says, you look crazy, but my English is improving. And I said, keep standing in front of the mirror. So again, this is a very powerful technique. You use a mirror to observe your facial expressions and your body language while speaking English, and you'll be able to self-correct. Here are 3 reasons why this is so powerful. Reason number 1, it helps you become more comfortable with how you look while speaking. When you can see yourself, you'll be able to recognize, when I say certain things, this is how I move. Let me change this. Let me adjust a bit. Reason number 2, it helps you practice maintaining eye contact and confident posture. This is powerful. Again, it helps you practice this eye contact and keeping your posture in the right way. Eye contact is powerful. If all of a sudden, for those watching this lesson on YouTube, if all of a sudden I kind of looked away for the entire lesson and you didn't know what was going on, you'd feel a little bit awkward. Now, when I look at my screen as I'm teaching you, I always make sure to come back to you and give you eye contact, because eye contact is important when you're speaking to or with someone. Reason number 3, again, speaking in front of a mirror is important because it allows you to focus your mouth movements for better pronunciation. You noticed that, right? Again, for those watching, you noticed I slowed down and you saw my mouth moving in a specific way. You can watch your mouth movements when you practice in front of a mirror. Technique number 5. Let's move on now to technique number 6. Technique number 6 is view errors as a natural part of the learning process rather than something to be feared or avoided. This technique is embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. Again, embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. This is something we spoke about 2 or 3 lessons ago. Our entire lesson was about making mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. Here are the 3 reasons why this technique is important. It reduces anxiety about making mistakes, which allows you to speak more freely. When you're not worried about mistakes, you won't experience any fear. You'll just start talking. Reason number 2, you'll learn more effectively by analyzing and correcting your errors. Again, you'll learn more effectively by analyzing and correcting. Hey, I made that mistake. Let me understand why. Now let me correct my mistake. Fear gone. Reason number 3, it fosters a growth mindset essential for long-term language learning success. You're focusing on improving yourself by allowing yourself to make mistakes. Technique number 7, prepare and practice common phrases for various situations. First word again, prepare. You see, learn and rehearse frequently used expressions and sentences for different contexts. When you keep a notebook, we talked about journaling in one of our previous lessons as well. When you keep a notebook and you write down new phrases you've learned or these common phrases and expressions used in real life, and then practice them when you're alone, in front of your mirror, when you're recording yourself. Then when you get to an actual conversation, your brain says, we've practiced this before. Let's use these expressions. Here are the 3 reasons why this technique is so powerful. Reason number 1, it builds your confidence in handling everyday conversations. It's all about confidence. This is why, as an English teacher, I focus so much on helping you feel more confident. My friend, listen, you know a lot. You've studied tons of books. I'm going to leave that in there. You've taken many courses. You know a lot. Now it's time for you to use what you've learned in a confident way. Reason number 2. You'll be able to respond more quickly and naturally in common situations when you practice ahead of time. Reason number 3. It helps you expand your vocabulary and improve your fluency. The more you practice, the more you'll be able to use these expressions and words in real life. Technique number 8. Gradually expose yourself to more challenging speaking scenarios. Listen, if you don't want to be afraid, if you want to feel prepared, you have to practice ahead of time. So again, you have to expose yourself to more challenging speaking scenarios. In other words, progressively engage in more complex or intimidating English speaking situations. Those situations that normally would cause you to pull back. Instead, now go directly into those conversations. Make an effort. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Why is this technique so important? Reason number 1. It helps you build resilience and adaptability in your language use. You can do it. Believe in yourself. Reason number 2. You'll expand your comfort zone and improve your overall communication skills. You'll get better the more you are stretched. And reason number 3, it prepares you for real life situations where you'll need to use English. This technique is going to help you a lot because it's going to show you just how good you can be. Technique number 9. Set realistic expectations for your language learning journey. Now, this ties into our earlier technique where you have to set small, achievable goals. Now we're talking about setting realistic expectations. Earlier, I mentioned trying to learn 1,000 English vocabulary words in 5 days. That's not really realistic. You might be able to memorize them, but using them. So again, understand that language learning is a gradual process and avoid setting unrealistic goals. My friend, please set goals, but make them realistic. If you're working, if you have a family, if you're busy, make goals that actually can be integrated into your life. Here's why this is so important. Reason number 1. It prevents frustration and helps maintain your motivation for the long term when you set achievable, realistic goals. Reason number 2. You'll appreciate your progress more when you have realistic benchmarks. Okay, I learned 2 words today. Great. Tomorrow I'm going to learn 2 words. Excellent. And I'll remember the words I learned yesterday. Reason number 3. It allows you to enjoy the learning process without undue pressure. Again, it allows you to enjoy the process without this extra pressure. Set realistic goals. We're talking about techniques that will help remove fear from your English experience. Technique number 10. Celebrate small victories, and progress in your speaking skills. Listen, this goes back to affirmations and positive self-talk. Celebrate yourself. Listen, I can celebrate you, but I also want you to celebrate yourself. Acknowledge and reward yourself for improvements, no matter how small they may seem. I get it. Again, I understand where you are. I was studying Korean and I also had a hard time encouraging myself and reminding myself, hey, Tiff, you're doing good. Hey, Tiff, you've achieved a lot. I want you to celebrate your small victories. Reason number 1, it boosts your motivation and encourages you to keep practicing. Don't stop. You got this. Move forward. Reason number 2, you'll develop a positive association with learning and using English. There's going to be this positive feeling, this happy feeling, this good feeling as you study English. And reason number 3, it helps build your confidence and resilience in the face of challenges. When you're constantly encouraging yourself, reminding yourself that, hey, you're doing a good job, celebrating your small victories. When challenging situations arise, when you are faced with a very difficult expression or word, you won't feel dejected or sad. You'll tell yourself, hey, I can do this. This is why the technique is so important. Technique number 11. Engage in regular, listen closely, self-reflection on your language learning progress. Sometimes it's good to just stop and look over your journey, where you've come from, where you are, things you've enjoyed learning, things that have helped you the most, people that have helped you on your journey. Stop and reflect. Periodically, assess your strengths, weaknesses, and overall advancement in English speaking. See how far you have come. Why is this so important? Reason number 1, again, to remove the fear that is attached to English at times. It helps you identify areas that need more focus or different learning strategies. We are all different. We're all unique as human beings. Your learning style might not be the same as your friend's learning style. And as you reflect on your journey, you'll recognize which strategies work and also which areas might need different strategies. Reason number 2, you'll gain a clearer understanding of your learning style and what works best for you. Reason number 3, it allows you to set more targeted and effective goals for future improvement. You see how these techniques are all intertwined. When you reflect on your journey, you'll be able to set more achievable goals. You'll be able to encourage yourself and have positive self-talk because you know where you've come from and where you're trying to go. This technique is powerful. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I want to remind you, if you want to keep studying with me, don't forget to go to www.dailyenglishvocabulary.com. Each and every day of the week, from Sunday to Friday, I send out an email totally for free with topical English vocabulary words. I want to help you improve, and this is an achievable goal. Each day, 5 new words related to a topic. So if you want to join the email list totally for free, go to www.dailyenglishvocabulary.com. And my friend, I'll talk to you next time. You still there? You know what time it is. It's story time. Hey, hey, hey. I said it's story time. All right. So I want to tell you something that happened to me. It's been about 10 or 11 months now. So my previous car, I had it for about almost 20 years. Loved it. My Honda, great car. But the time came for me to get a different car. My Honda was dying. So the car that I decided to purchase was a Lexus IS. Now, it's very sporty and it had 4 doors. So I had two things I needed. First, it needed to be like a sports car. Second, it needed to have 4 doors. I said, okay, my nieces are getting bigger, and my 2-door, my sports car before, I was like, yeah, they're getting tall now. I need to switch my car out. So I was at the dealership speaking with the individual, and I had chosen my car. Loved it, still love it to this day. And while we were standing there talking, going over the details, going over the paperwork, we were standing outside and she was handing me the keys. I saw a man approaching us, right? He was on a bike. He was coming towards us, but it looked like he was going to deliver something. He had a bag kind of on his bike with him. It was an electric bike. So as he was coming towards us, we kind of, stepped to the side just a bit to allow him to proceed on his way. And as he got closer, I noticed that he was staring at me a bit more than he was staring at the representative I was speaking with. I was like, okay, so we keep talking and he passes us and then he puts on his brakes. And so, of course, the woman I was talking to, we both stopped talking and kind of looked at him, and he put his bike in reverse and he looked at me and he said, I know you. And I said, uh-oh, here we go. The vibe I was getting was, hey girl, how you doing? And I was like, oh. I was like, I'm trying to take care of business. And I was like, I don't know if you know me or not. He said, no, I know you. And that's when I saw his look change in his eye. He said, Teacher Tiffani? And I was like, yes, I'm Teacher Tiffani. He's like, oh my goodness. And he proceeded for the next 2 minutes to just say, Tiffani, you've helped me so much. I was able to come to America. I'm able to have this job now because of your lessons. And the more he talked, the more warmth I felt come over my heart. I absolutely love meeting students in person in real life. And to hear him say that his life changed simply because of my YouTube lessons made me want to create more lessons, made me want to help more. This young man was extremely nice. And he said, Tiffani, I just want to thank you so much. And I said, no worries. We took a picture together and I actually posted on my Facebook, my private Facebook page about this young man. And I said, these kind of interactions make me want to work harder. These types of interactions make me want to do more to serve you. So wherever he is, I want to say thank you so much for stopping. Thank you so much for pumping your brakes and putting your bike in reverse and saying hello. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I'll talk to you all next time.